Mainly, we're here today just giving our testimony how God has blessed us, especially my son, with getting to wasn't the first school of his choice. It was the second, but it was one that he thought could not be reached because his academics were great, but it was classes that he needed to take that he didn't take. But his first choice was Yale, and he was so disappointed because he didn't get into Yale. I mean, he was really devastated because he just knew he had in his spirit he was going there. All provisions were made for him to go there. He had a financial aid package all set up, so he thought. And when he got the rejection letter, it really devastated him.
Yeah, I never really knew. I've always been blessed enough to have the favor of God in my life, and so I was never used to being told no before. And so from the month of December when I got that rejection letter to the month of late February, I received nothing but rejections, and I really had to learn how to praise God in the no's. Not only when we're happy, we have to praise God in the downs as well. And so this is really a cool
I
learning
said,
experience.
El, I guess this is not God's will for you at this time. But when this door closes, God's going to open up another door. We didn't know when, we didn't know where, but we just had to trust God. And so out the blue, it was one of his reach schools that he liked, but he liked Yale best. He was not going to get in because he didn't have, he had the GPA. He didn't have all the academics that he needed to get into that school. What was some classes you didn't take?
I take classes like calculus, all the way to AB, and I had never taken classes like that before, so it was really a big reach for me. I didn't have the test scores neither, and so I didn't expect much from the school after receiving my rejection letter from Yale. But come to find out, 2 weeks ago, I actually got my decision in my email, and I checked it in school, not expecting much, and lo and behold, it was a congratulations letter. They actually sent my acceptance letter early because they felt I was one of the strongest candidates of the applicant pool, even though statistically I was one of the lowest.
In my mind, I'm thinking, Lord Jesus, how am I going to pay for this? I couldn't afford Yale. I know I can afford this one. So I just like, Jesus, it's up to you. I mean, everything happens for a reason. And not 5 minutes later, he calls me back and said, Mom, they're giving me a full ride. I don't have to pay anything. So I was like, oh, praise God. So when he came home that afternoon, he said, Mom, see how God works? And I said, yeah, good. God is really showing up. So I said, well, how much is wasn't the application
It
fee?
was a
Was a
deposit, which is $250. But I didn't worry about it. I said, this guy has made provisions for me to get this far. I know he's not going to leave me here. And so I accepted my admission right in there. And then about an hour later, I got an email saying they waived my deposit fee, a whole another $250 I didn't have to pay. So my schooling was completely free now.
and that just taught us to really trust God no matter what the obstacle is, he always have a plan. Sometimes, majority of times, our plan is not his plan, but all things work out to good for those who love the Lord, who called according to his purpose. So that's what our testimony is about today. How we trust God in the middle of everything, and that really taught us really to walk by faith and not by sight, you
Oh,
know.
this the verse that always comes to mind is for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope in the future. And, even though our plans may not be exactly what God has in store for us, we know that God has something better for us than we could ever even imagine. And this is another example of how that played out.